Welcome to This Week in the SFL. Along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine, here to break down Season 20, Week 8. Good evening, Paul.
Hey there, Cam. How you doing tonight? SFL Nation, excited to be here. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about here after this weekend.
Doing pretty well, Paul. And this weekend was a little bit of a snoozer. A couple of blowouts, maybe 6, 7. But we're here to be honest about about what we saw this weekend. We're here to break down the good, bad, and the ugly every week, right, Paul?
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. And it's Impact Monday. It's a spectacular event, Cam, week after week.
Let's get to the headlines from Week 8. Vancouver takes control of the Pacific with their narrow win over Florida and Portland's loss. Same old, Paul, as Vancouver is back in the lead of that Pacific Division. Hey, how about the gridlock in the South and the Central? 3 teams over 500 in each of those divisions and all within one game of each other. Who knows who's going to come out on top of that? And we'll talk more about the West Division in Arizona as well a little bit later in the show. Do we have some new championship contenders in the house? Tulsa, 5-2. They dominate Louisiana. San Diego rolls over Charleston. You like to see those championship contenders, Paul, beat down teams that you're even not expecting them to beat down.
Yes and no, because like we're seeing here is Tulsa. Are they a new contender? And I personally believe yes, they are. I think Tulsa is definitely a team to watch out for. And as far as them going in and going up against Louisiana, it's not like Louisiana's a team that's typically getting beat up on. So it was just impressive to see Tulsa go out there and just play lights out the way that they did.
It was impressive. We'll get to more from the Tulsa and Louisiana game a little bit later, but we start this week in Los Angeles, Paul, where we had plenty to talk about. How about this run? Oh, put the foot in the ground and go. Logan Jack, one of the best runs of any player all season long, gets us started here on This Week in the SFL as he ties the game at 7. Look at this one again.
It's an incredible job from Logan Jack. Like you said, putting the foot in the ground and just off to the races, beating out on all the defenders. Nobody could catch him, breaking a tackle there in the red zone, and just going across for a touchdown there.
Wasn't all easy for Los Angeles on this day. Strongbow gets a safety for Sioux Falls. The reason why that's interesting, it makes the score 9-7, which was the last score these two teams played. But Sully Richardson would quickly eliminate that. Jack Flash, who was hurt last week with the touchdown, makes it 17-9. LA on top by 8. The winless Lycans, the 13.5-point home dog Lycans. But the extra point was blocked, 16-9. So instead, it's Noe Terrasas getting behind the defense. He scores, and Sioux Falls ties the game at 16 late in the first half. Noe's got to dance. Next possession, Sully Richardson throwing dots. How did he complete that one? Pass A.J. Levy, one of the best passes you'll see all season. Tie game at 23, still in the first half. Look at Sully. He's just putting it on these receivers. Touchdown, LA. They had not scored over 30 points in 3 seasons. They scored 30 in the first half. They score 44 in the game. Beat Sioux Falls 44-30 for their first victory of the season. More on LA in just a moment, but first, in that game, Julian Tyree set the all-time passing yards record in the ball game, surpassing Matt Wilson. Tyree now 52,030 passing yards, 307 touchdowns, and an all-time QB rating of 84. The most efficient quarterback on this list is Wilson, QBR of 91.6. That's why he's considered the GOAT, and his 374 touchdowns are a distant first to everyone else on this list. But what I found most fascinating while we celebrate Tyree here tonight is that 4th and 5th aren't even playing anymore, and they're still top 5 on this list. What do you think about Tyree's achievement and the company he keeps?
Yeah, Julian Tyree finally passing the GOAT, Matt Wilson, as far as passing yards goes, still about 67 touchdowns away from the passing touchdowns record. But I'll tell you what, Cam, that is a lot of passing yards. And for players number 4 and 5 to not even be in the league playing, there's a big gap between Julian Tyree and even Ron Cochran, still 6,000 passing yard difference there with Ron Cochran still active. But Julian Tyree, as long as he keeps playing, he's going to continue to grow that lead and sitting at top by himself as far as passing yards goes.
And there's plenty of retired quarterbacks just off this list. Christian Christensen, Mike Dazzo, Ashley Jackson is actually the closest to cracking the top 5, but even she's still a ways away. Top 5, great company for Julian Tyree. He makes it happen. Back to Los Angeles before Paul and I give our thoughts on their big-time win. Let's hear what Robert Thum had to say with Ashley Jackson this week on an all-new, beautiful-looking PGI.
What is up, SFL Nation? And we are back with PGI. And I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Robert Thump. He is the defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Lakers, who just got their first win of the season. Man, how are you feeling?
Oh, it's great. Everybody's super excited. Hopefully get kind of some momentum going and see if maybe we can get lucky and sneak into the playoffs at the end.
Hey, exactly. So just a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Do you think that your position as defensive tackle, do you think that you're being utilized to the best of your abilities?
Yeah, I think there's kinks, right? There's a reason we're I think it's 1-6 right now. We just got our first win. So there's just some kinks we're trying to iron out, work out, but I think it's getting there. I personally had a great game. Obviously I wouldn't be able to do it with the other guys next to me. Okay. Yes, I think it's great. I think the whole team as a whole is doing really well. Obviously we're 1-6, so we're a little bit of a rough start, but we wouldn't be able to do it without the guys next to me and behind me and the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator both being willing to learning to adjust as we go along. So I think it's hopefully kind of stick in the playoffs and see what happens.
So what has been the camaraderie been like in the locker room from the time you guys first started the season, going 0-6, and to now?
Sure. Yeah, so it was a little rough, and nobody likes to be 0-6, right? Nobody wants to, be in the league where you're 0-6, but there's a reason we got picked at number 2 in the last draft, and there's a reason that it's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit more effort on our part, a little more patience, and just kind of working some kinks out. Everybody was super happy to get the win, no doubt. Hopefully, kind of momentum starts, going to our favor a little bit, and we just keep pushing.
All right, last question. What do you think was the secret to you guys winning over Sioux Falls this week? And you had but thinking about all the other games that you guys had, what was different about this week?
I think second half adjustments really helped us a lot, right? Because that's kind of when we broke out. That's when the defense took a big step forward that game. Instead of it being a back and forth game, the offense, took care of the ball, everything else you want to see from a team. So I think second half adjustments for that game compared to previous weeks was maybe a little bit more, I guess, just put together. The right plays were being called.
Indeed. 44-30.
Yes,
you guys did your thing. So congratulations. I hope to see more good things from you. I think last time I had Sully on the show, my SFL night show, I did say that you guys are going to win one, and you did. So congrats.
See, maybe we'll make it 2 now.
Hey, exactly. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck next week.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Cam, Paulie, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley, and thanks to Cameron Curtis for refreshing our PGI segment for us and Ashley tonight. Great job on that. But Paul, in a week where we saw a bunch of bad teams play bad, it was nice to see Los Angeles get a win, even if it's probably too little too late at 1-6.
Sure, and hey, some of us have all been there at that winless stage in our careers, and to get your first win on the season, I've been there last season, and just a great job for the whole organization of Los Angeles to go in there and get the job done and securing your first win. Robert Thump, with the interview, he had a great game, 3.5 sacks. You had Sully Richardson, who played essentially flawless, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Logan Jack played like a man possessed. He had 217 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. And again, Mike Scott had 2 interceptions on Julian Tyree's big historic night. And as far as what we can see maybe in the future, as far as if Los Angeles is necessarily, if we're going to see performances like this the rest of the season, their schedule moving forward is somewhat tough. They have Jacksonville, Vancouver, Florida, Indianapolis, and Seattle. But 1-6 previously, or currently right now, I think they'll be able to get 1 or 2 wins here the rest of the season, and excited to see how their season ends up.
Forward momentum is always good, and we'll see what Los Angeles can do with these final 5 weeks. Let's get back to the highlights. We go to Seattle, where the seemingly always fast-starting nemesis take the lead in the second quarter, 10-3. But it wouldn't last long as Terrellis Blanton, trying to go up 17-3, gets that 7 put on the other side of the scoreboard. Cody Griffin picks it off at the goal line, and he is out of here. Look at the teammates. Run, Cody, run! 10-10, tied up. I don't think Paul liked that joke very much. End of the first half. Trellis Blanton, deep shot down the field. That's caught. Nice little sidearm touchdown. David Gears. Seattle right back up, 17-10. Pew, pew, pew. But in the fourth quarter, Minnesota found a way. Johnny Reno finds Quag Mam. The first catch of the day for Quag makes it 20-17. Minnesota, Seattle with another chance. Late stages of the ball game. Blanton trying to get into the end zone. Caught, and it is short. Derek Meerkat, the player of the game, makes the touchdown-saving tackle on Patton. Seattle would then have to settle for a field goal. First play of overtime. Blanton's pass is picked off by Johnny Bravo. Bravo returns it into field goal range, where this man, Mickey Melillo, would have a chance to keep Minnesota ahead in the Central. 47-yard field goal. You know it. It's good. 23-20. Minnesota gets the win. 5-2 legend. And Mickey Melillo is here with us on PGI tonight with Ashley.
Welcome back, SFL Nation 2, where I am joined by Mr. Mickey Melillo. He is the kicker for Minnesota Legends, and he was a legend in this game over Seattle. Man, how are you doing?
I am doing well. That was some ending of the game, let me tell you.
I bet it was. So take us back to that very moment where you're lining up to kick the ball, and once you kick it, do you have that confidence that it's going through? What was your reaction after it happened? Let us know, because you guys were tied. It was 2020. It was in your hands. How did it feel?
Well, it's the situation that every kicker wants to be in. Game on the line. You know it's up to you, and you just got to do what you train for day in, day out, and kick the ball through the uprights. So I knew when I went out there, it was in my range. It was a comfortable range. You give me that shot, I'm going to win the game for the Legend.
All right, then. And that you did. So as I saw you sprinting to the sidelines, I saw you get toppled by your fellow team members. What were they saying to you?
They were just congratulating me. You won the game for us. Great job. You did it. And, you got my buddy Daniel Wright always going, Mickey, after I kick a field goal. So, it was just a great feeling. Kickers aren't out on the field scoring 6 points, scoring touchdowns. But when they get an opportunity to be able to do something to truly help the team, it's just fantastic.
Indeed. And I always say, anytime points are scored, that's you're that much closer to actually winning the game. So kickers matter, you matter, and you definitely helped them win this game. So congratulations on your big win.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And looking forward to seeing what you do on the field, or what you guys do on the field next week. And you have a good day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right. Cam, Paulie, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And while Seattle was 2-5, at least they took a good team to overtime. They played a really good football game, just didn't come out with the win. So we'll move on from that to some teams that didn't play very well and are in some trouble. Canton blasted by Mexico City on Saturday, 37-10. Chris Curtis nearly 50% completion rating. Kendra Wells with 1 catch on 4 targets and a win for a touchdown. Canton 284.7 yards per game is the worst since Portland back in season 15. So we're talking about offense going backwards here for the Classics. They got to turn it around in a hurry. They have now lost the North Division lead. Skippy with a $4.99 super chat to do a hair flip. Oh my goodness gracious. Have to do that after next time we're on camera. But Mexico City rolling. Nick Lockett a couple of touchdowns. Jordan Sipe completes 30 passes. Liam Ryan becoming a shutdown corner. And remember, Paul, Mexico City still has Fort Worth twice, Week 10 and Week 14. That'll decide the South more than likely.
Yeah, those matchups are definitely going to be a big deciding factor of who finishes first in the division. And this week, Mexico City just went in and handled business and took care of Canton Classics, beating them by 27 points.
That's Mexico City going to 5-2, and Canton falling to 3-4. Jacksonville has lost 5 in a row. Indianapolis is now 4-3. They blow out the Kings 42-20. Colin Pierce over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Ryan Roosevelt still leads the league in receiving yards by a mile. Third 40-point game, Paul, for Indy just in their first couple of seasons. Jacksonville, what is going on there? Ellington and Ochoa look great. 16 catches, 181 yards. All the rest of their targets, 4 catches, 25. Sanders missed about half the game with an injury. Bruin still throwing picks. Kings going downhill, while the Ramblers, a surprise mid-season surge right now.
Yeah, Indianapolis is definitely a high-flying team. They definitely know how to put points on the board. And as far as Jacksonville goes, Jacksonville is an extremely young team. Their veterans are stepping up, but the young dynamic of the team is, you just got to wait and trust the process, give it some time in Jacksonville.
Moving on, Alamo City took out Motor City pretty easily, 34-17. Fennec with 1 yard shy of 300. Brad Jones was the star this night, 135 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Alamo City looks like they may roll to a 6-3 start if they can take care of business on the road at Houston and at Queen City. One of the easier next couple of weeks in the SFL just based on the standings. Motor City continues to put up decent numbers, but they just can't put up points. They were on the field 10 less minutes than Alamo City. They don't have a running game right now. Christopher Dean couldn't get it going. And Motor City missed a golden opportunity, Paul, to really muck up that North Division. But as it stands, they still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, when you lose the time of possession battle by 10 minutes, it's tough to win games that way. As far as Alamo City goes, they are an extremely tough team that I believe the entire league of the SFL needs to keep on their radars.
Last blowout of the week, or at least the last one we're going to talk about right now, is Houston beating Queen City 38-14. Dave Burr was all over the place, hitting DR Sim for all 3 of his touchdowns. So 143 yards and 5 receptions. They were 11 of 14 on third down, Paul. It's insane. Queen City has the Lake Man go under 50%. It seemed like an all-or-nothing pass game plan from the Corsairs. They got a couple of bombs to Doug Spelling, but they didn't do much. And I don't think anybody has as tough a next 3 weeks as the 0-7 Corsairs. They've got the 4-3 Artillery, 5-2 Aztecs, and 5-2 Toros. Both of those last 2 on the road. I don't see a win on the schedule for the Corsairs unless they pull an upset, but at least Houston's won a couple in a row.
Yeah, definitely a tough schedule for Queen City. Looking at those 3 matchups, it's going to be a battle for them to get a win and get their first win of the season. We saw LA do it this week. Who knows if Queen City's going to do it next week? And as far as Houston, they have just had a heartbreaking season as well, but going in and handling business and coming in and taking the victory away from Queen City this weekend.
Not going to do the hair flip on our national TV portion of our show, but you will see it in Impact Monday's game preview here coming up in a little while. Instead, maybe Damon Simeon will do a hair flip for us. He joined Ashley Jackson post-game.
Welcome back to PGI. And we are back with a good friend of mine, Mr. Damon Simeon. He is the owner and head coach for Houston Headhunters. Man, I know you feeling really great getting this win over Queen City to make you guys 2-5.
Yeah, despite being 2-5, I am glad to get another win under the belt. It's been a crazy season, losing a few games, about 3 points, being right there in the thick of things, and then just not being able to, pull out at the end. And then we had some games, man, we just looked horrible offensively. Defensively, it looked pretty good, but offensively, we played really, really horrible.
Well, I'll tell you what, this game, y'all won 38-14. You had 269 passing, 156 rushing, 425 total. I mean, your time of possession was 25 minutes, so you had the right game plan for this. Longer, holding the ball longer, being balanced on both sides of the ball. So do you think that was the reason that you guys won this game?
Yeah, most definitely that we were balanced. I went back into, my archive and looked at some older playbooks that I had and basically implement some of those things that we ran previously into, the game plan this week. And it basically showed, on the field, if we stayed at 25 minutes of time of possession, that's outstanding for any ball club to do, so kudos to the guys on the field that made everything happen. Man, I'm just excited for this win. I'm serious.
I believe it. So, how do you think this affects your locker room at this point?
The locker room is basically been a little bit more talkative within the last 24 hours than it has been the previous, 4 weeks or so. It's been pretty crazy. Since we got our last win, it hasn't been that much, communication going on in there. But yeah, and, guys reaching out to me, hey man, I don't know what you did to the playbook this week, but keep doing it. It worked. So yeah, so it has been a struggle trying to get the playbook back to things that we normally do. As everyone knows, I've been on every show and stated that, I tried to come up with a type of system, and it just didn't work for me. It just didn't work for us,
Hey, but that's trial and error. You try sometimes, some things it works, some things work out, sometimes it doesn't. But listen, I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season, and can't wait to see what you guys do on the field next week.
Hey, we got Alamo City coming in, and we'll be at home. And I'm actually scouting Alamo City right now. I got them guys up on the screen right now. So I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that we come out victorious.
Of course. You're Demond Simeons. Of course you are. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you.
No problem. You're more than welcome. See you when we see you.
Indeed. Cam, Paulie, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. More highlights now to San Diego, and we start with Scar Patterson dialing it up to B. Robo in the back of the end zone. Pretty ball.
Scar Patterson off to having an awesome season so far, and as we saw right there, just throwing another dime and adding a touchdown to the total this season.
Here's a second dime from Scar Patterson right over the top. Pretty easy, but right on point. That's Dave Axis with the score. Axis and Robo were a great 1-2 punch on this night against the Charleston Predators, who are really struggling. Kentes Johnson picked off by Nate Hall. Kind of just threw it right to him. Predators just have no momentum, no juice right now. But Patterson in the back of the end zone hits Dave Axis, makes it 21-0. It's all Mavericks all the time. And that would continue in the third. Blocked punt. It's just nothing going right
Non-stop
for the Predators. Exactly. Non-stop from the Mavericks, trying to keep pace in the West Division. Finally, in the third, Charleston would harness some momentum. Patterson looking to the bottom of the screen, and a pretty interception from Mark Martin. Gets the ball down the sideline. And, I mean, for the first time in this entire game, Paul, it felt like Charleston had a little juice.
Yeah, to get that interception when he did, we're going to see that here again with the hand-eye coordination, tipping the ball, able to catch it and keep both feet in bounds, and then get some yards after the interception. Just a great play and a great somewhat momentum shift for Charleston moving forward.
Nice thing for the Preds. They get a touchdown off that turnover. Kentes Johnson to Jay Hayden. 21-7 in the fourth quarter. It's just a two-score game, but too much of these guys. Scar Patterson, perfect dime to the back of the end zone. Hits B. Robo again. His second touchdown makes it 28-7 San Diego, and they would come out with the victory 30 to 17. 31 to 17 as the Mavericks go to 5-2. Charleston drops to 1-6. More routes. Next Level Sports game this weekend. Atlanta beat Portland 38-23, but it looks closer than it actually was. It was 35-14 there in the second half off of back-to-back Portland turnovers. And the Fleet better be careful because they got Tulsa next week and then they got a bye. We could go a whole month without seeing a Portland victory. They're in some trouble right now. Ezekiel Love did get 29 carries but only 123 yards. And on the Atlanta side, it was the three-headed monster that we know. Dynasty, Hollywood, Chisholm, they were on top of their game. And they've won 6 of 7 games this season by double digits.
Yeah, Atlanta finally this season fully clicking as a team and just absolutely dominating every team that is lined up against them every single weekend so far in season 20 of the SFL.
Chris Covers, what up here in our SFL chat room? Ashley, show me some love.
What is up, SFL Nation, and welcome back to where I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Ezekiel Love. He is the defensive coordinator as well as star running back for the Portland Fleet. Man, how are you? It's been a while.
Good evening, Ashley. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Always glad to see you, brother.
Pleasure to see you as well.
Thank you. So you guys had your debut on Next Level against Atlanta, and unfortunately it didn't work out for you guys. You lost 24-30, man. But you were telling me off camera that that score was definitely misleading. Please let us know why.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I love the guys in Atlanta. I really like that organization. Game was 14-14, second quarter. They came down, scored, made it 21-14. Falling possession, unfortunately, I fumbled on the first play. Late in the second half, with a little bit over a minute to go, something like that. So they punched it in. But, end of the day, the final score, I think, was 38-23. But that game really fell on 2 plays, the fumble, and we had a pick 6, so you look at the game, it was a 24-23 game, but, no disrespect to Atlanta, great team. It's just, I think we played them tough. And we just came out on the losing end.
Indeed, for the score to be that close, you definitely played them tough.
So, it's 38-23, but there were two plays in that game that really turned the game, the fumble and the pick 6. Otherwise, I think it's maybe talking about a different story.
Gotcha.
But the goal, although we're 3 and 4, the goal for Portland has not changed. Our goal is to win that division. We still have a shot at the division because although Vancouver's 1 game ahead of us, we still beat them the first time. And even if we are 1 game behind them, we still play them 1 more time this season. So we still have a shot at winning division, goes division, and get this team to the playoffs. That has not changed.
Gotcha. How has your experience been being one of the coaches over in Portland?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great working with Jacob, working with Mel, working with Nelson, everything, and putting the game plan together. It's been fantastic. That's not always perfect. How this game goes. Some things happen that you can't explain, and some things you wonder why the AI is doing what the AI does, but you have no control over it. You just do the best you can, put your game plan in, and you hope that everything goes the way you expect it to go. But it's been a lot of fun.
Indeed. Good group of guys over there in Portland. Love every last one of y'all.
I love working with Jacob. Of course, I love working with Mel.
Yes.
Right. And we go, of course, as cousins, we go way, way back doing this kind of thing. Nelson is great. The team is great. I love Portland.
Awesome, man.
I love Jacob as an owner, man. Tell you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I cannot wait to see what you guys have in store for next week and for the rest of the season. I do wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you. We have a big game next week against Tulsa.
Right. Your old crew.
Boy, that's a tough game. It's going to be a tough one. It is. But we're definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be good ball to watch, but I want to thank you so much for taking the time out with me tonight. And hopefully I'll be able to talk to you later on down the line.
I appreciate you very much. Thanks a lot, dear.
You're very welcome, dear. Have a good night.
You do the same.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Cam,
All right. Bye.
Polly, back to you.
Interesting perspective there, Paul, from Ezekiel Love. He saw a game where 2 plays were basically the difference. I saw a game that, while they swung momentum, that put Portland behind the 8 ball, and they were unable to beat players one-on-one outside. The receivers are just not able to make those big plays down the stretch, seemingly. However, they're playing the best team in the league in Atlanta, so how much can you knock them? Either way, now they're behind the 8 ball. Tulsa comes in next week. They really need that game. Otherwise, things are going to start to snowball for them. But how did you see that game, Paul? Because it's just an interesting take there from Zeke.
Yeah, as far as Ezekiel Love's take, I could see how he could maybe think that 2 plays could have shifted the momentum in the game. I've seen it happen before, but as you're playing the best team in the league, the Atlanta Swarm, it might be a little bit more than 2 plays when you're going up against a powerhouse such as the Swarm. And just credit to Atlanta for going in and getting the job done. They're just doing what they've done every single week we've seen them so far in the season, and that is get a win.
Now, I think we can agree, or we can all agree on one thing, and that's that Portland looked a little better than Louisiana this week, who did not have a good game against the Tulsa Desperados. A shocking loss. We were there in Houma just last week, Paul,
Sure
when
were.
they beat Vancouver in the last minute of the game. And that was the best game we've seen on Impact Monday. And then they come out this week and just slayed a stinker. Tommy Utah had less than 100 yards of passing for essentially the entire game. Got some stuff done in garbage time. Douglas Brown didn't even have that good of a game, but Tulsa's defense was nasty. And Brooke Beisel tied the SFL record with 7 field goals. First shutout in the SFL since Louisiana shut out Charleston 15-0 in season 18. But this was the strangest game of the week, Paul, because we just had a bunch of field goals, a bunch of defense, and a bunch of question marks on Louisiana's road trip to Tulsa.
Yeah, this 0-point Louisiana offense is not what we saw last Monday, but you got to give credit to Tulsa. They have just been on a tear this season, and just getting the job done against a tough Louisiana team to be able to shut them out. Your kicker kicked 7 field goals for you, 21 points, and adding on a touchdown from Douglas Brown, shutting out the Revolution. Just an incredible job and game from Tulsa.
Brooke Beisel outscored Louisiana this week. She outscored Canton this week. She outscored Motor City this week. She outscored Jacksonville this week. She's got to be the player of the week. She's outscored, half the teams that lost this weekend. It's just crazy. Let's start with the happy, and let's go to J-Rock.
What is up, SFL Nation, and welcome back to PGI, where I am joined with a good friend of mine, Mr. J-Rock. He is the cornerback for the Tulsa Desperados that just won their game, shutout win, 0-28. Man, how are you feeling?
Man, we're feeling amazing over here at Tulsa right now with this, victory stretch we're running off of.
Hey, well deserved too. That was a heck of a game plan that you guys put together to be able to, score your 28 points, but hold them to no points, man. And then since you're on the defense, I know that made you happy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially towards the end there, getting a couple of PDs. That's always a good feeling. Like, yeah, even though we got AIs, and I stay in the game, So I'm there for most of it.
Awesome. So in your opinion, what made this game so special?
Man, I know there's a big rivalry there. We coming into that game with a rivalry. They've never beat us before, and I was like, guys, if this is the game where they do it, it's going to be this one. So we got to work at it, just try to hold them to whatever we can hold them to. And unfortunately, we held them all to a shutout. And, we're just made. Honestly, everybody feels great after a shutout. It doesn't happen often. And it felt really good just coming in there and being able to shut down the Revolution like that at home, boost the morale for all the Tulsa fans out there that we're here to play football.
Yeah, apparently that hasn't happened in 2 seasons where you guys had a shutout game like that. So you definitely had the right game plan for it. So one more question for you. What is the general vibe in the locker room like right now?
Oh man, it's just everybody congratulating everybody. You know, when you got a bunch of guys on a team and y'all are all coming together and you're making all those cylinders work for you, especially during big games, it just feels amazing. There's no words that describe the feeling.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I do wish you guys much success. Of course, Tulsa is where I got my first start. So you're always going to have a place in my heart. Love you guys up there.
But
And
we all love you.
oh, sweet. But wish y'all the best for the rest of the season. Good luck to you. And I'm looking forward to talking with you a little bit later on, okay?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Have me
Awesome.
back. I'll come back.
Okay, surely will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. We have winners and losers on this show. That's why Paul Sarp is here, so that we don't have two losers on camera. And that means that we go to the losing locker room of this game. Let's see what Mike Ryan had to say about it. He sat down with Ashley.
What is up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to where I am joined with a good friend of mine, Mr. Tyler Falk, a.k.a. Mr. Mike Ryan. He is from the Louisiana Revolution that suffered a big loss from Tulsa, 0-28. Tyler, what happened?
Well, as the assistant general manager, as well as the agent for player Mike Ryan, it falls on me to be a little bit more diplomatic. And I will say that the team itself and our members are not happy with how we played yesterday, aka 2 days ago from here tonight on Monday. But when you are not able to have any big chunk plays that go for 20 yards plus, while you allow a few big chunk plays, 3 of them in total going over 20 yards, and the defense can't get off the field, it's a recipe for failure. And we saw that. And we have no one else to blame but ourselves. Tulsa came out with a fantastic game plan against us, and it showed. And Tulsa is one of those teams who, on the team, and as a commentator, I look at Tulsa as, they're an up-and-coming team. They know how to deal with situations. They have a more effective game plan now, and they played us to a T. And I tip my cap to them. They took us to task, and it showed with the shutout. They fully deserve the shutout victory on Saturday.
So what do you think Louisiana has to do for the next game? Because I don't want to necessarily go to the rest of the season, one game at a time. What do you think you guys have to change for next game?
Well, we just have to be more consistent on offense. And that's been a trouble with our couple of previous losses with Florida and Sioux Falls. We struggled with consistency. In those 2 games, we got out to a hot start, but then completely crumbled. This past game against Tulsa, we just never got going. Tulsa's defense came up with a couple of good turnovers in prime situations. We couldn't maintain a drive. So if we can maintain 3 or 4 drives, we're going to be contenders in a lot of these games. And of course, that's what we have to work on is that. And then we have to get back to basics on defense. I think we were just a little bit too lax in coverage when we played Tulsa. And it showed. They were able to convert first down after first down, on third down after third down. And yeah, we stopped them before they got to the end zone. They still kicked 7 field goals on us. Brooke Weissel had a fantastic game and tied the league record. And again, that's the credit to Tulsa's offensive game plan. No longer are they trying to take, they did take their deep shots, but they're more proactive when they take them. So that's
Gotcha.
To change everything up, we have to go back to being consistent on both offense and defense.
Well, if anybody can turn it around, I'm sure the Revolution can. And I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. And thank you.
Ashley.
You're very welcome. And thank you so much for taking the time out with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Back to the highlights as Vancouver was in Florida on Friday night, and early and often, nobody was guarding receivers on the outside for Vancouver. That one to Justice Blackwell, this one to Chris Curtis, and quickly, the Legion built a 14-7 lead. Wasn't all through the air, it was on the ground too. Robert Redford got things going in the second quarter for Vancouver. Christian Brown gives it off to him here, and Paul, literally no one touches him for 45 yards.
Yeah, as we have seen already, that is the third play of over 50 yards just in the first half of this game. So defense is not necessarily all on the same page in this game, but the offenses, how about these high-flying offenses putting points up on the board early?
Not Ron Cochran, as Michael Lister is intercepted there, although he did have one touchdown pass early in the game, but that would give Christian Brown another opportunity before the end of the half. And what do you know, Paul? It's another 50-plus yard play where no one's touched. Curtis gone again. He's now second in the SFL in receiving yards, and you'll see on Next Level Sports next week the top two receivers when Ryan Roosevelt and Chris Curtis are on the field at the same time. But in the third quarter, Florida starts to get it going. Ron Cochran, Everett, and Zarkov streaking down the field, makes it 28-20. Vancouver comes right back from one tight end to the other. James Walters from Christian Brown makes it 35-20. Florida, next possession, fourth quarter, strikes right back. Touchdown in the end zone, Art Vandelay. That's good, 35-27. Vancouver gets a field goal, and the ensuing possession with 2:35 to go in the fourth is another Ron Cochran touchdown pass. 38-33, two-point conversion. Look at Optimus Klein there. Shallow left end zone, running to the right. Look at him pass through all the zone, and he gets it. Plenty of coverage, or plenty of time for Ron Cochran to throw it. And then down 6 after a failed onside kick, but a force of a field goal. Stephen Bush scores the touchdown for Florida, and you think, holy moly, Florida is going to end up pulling this out and dumping Vancouver to 3-4. It was not to be on this night at the I. Vancouver would improve to 4-4 all-time on the road against the Storm, thanks to Chance to Win's 29-yard field goal at the buzzer. Good, 44-42. Finally, a close game. Vancouver takes control of the Pacific. So, to the standings we go. Here's your updated look at the playoff standings. We start first at the top with Atlanta, then Vegas, still your number 2 seed. Vegas, Baltimore, Arizona, none of them have played this week. Arizona plays tonight against the DC Dragons, but Baltimore and Las Vegas had a bye. So Arizona has an opportunity to get to that 2 spot, or they could take a tumble since they are not leading their division. Mexico City and Minnesota are leading their division, and that is why they are in the 5th and 6th spots. Tulsa has an SOV advantage over San Diego. They would be in the 7th spot right now. And Carolina and Fort Worth with 4-2 records would start the playoffs on the road, Paul. It's a top-heavy season we're having right now, and that is messing up the standings. Carolina beat Fort Worth in a head-to-head. That is why they're 9. Vancouver, a division winner, is 11 right now, and London gets in for winning the North at 12, but with a 3-3 record. That would leave 3 teams over 500 on the outside looking in. Alamo City, Louisiana, and Indy, and Sioux Falls a distant 16th. Let's go back to that West, Paul, where Vegas, Arizona, and San Diego are all in the top 8, all within a half game of each other. Who do you think is going to win this division? It is wide open.
Yeah, this West, I believe it is totally up for grabs. One of the big deciding factors of who is going to win this West division is if Arizona can get it done tonight against DC, and then next week where Arizona and San Diego meet. So I personally believe that the winner of that game will win the West, but you can't count out Las Vegas, who's been on fire this season. They'll rematch against Arizona in their final game of the season, and I know I was saying that San Diego, Arizona might determine the West, but you never know if Arizona and Las Vegas, that final game in Week 14, is going to decide the West.
I think you're onto something with Arizona and San Diego. They only play each other one time, so that's going to be a huge tiebreaker. But Vegas ends the season with Baltimore and Arizona in back-to-back weeks. They are known to fade late. So until Vegas can come out of that 2-game stretch showing me that they are ready, to make a serious championship push, gotta lean Arizona at the moment with that half-game lead on San Diego. But then ultimately that Arizona-San Diego winner is going to be big. And that's a bunched up standings. We certainly know that. This has been This Week in the SFL, Season 20, Week 8 edition for our Next Level Sports audience. Thank you for watching. Enjoy SFL, more SFL action on Next Level Sports. For our YouTube audience, stay tuned. We've got Impact Monday and the Impact Monday preview coming right up Don't go everywhere. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and see you later on NLSE. And welcome to Impact Monday here on the SFL YouTube channel. Along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. Arizona and DC tonight from Dungeon of Dracary's Coliseum. And DC's backs are against the wall tonight, Paul. They are 2-4. Arizona 5-1. Both these teams have been waiting a long time for this one, coming off their byes, and both itching to get out there on the field tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. DC is a tough team. Their record might not show the type of season they're having, but they've been in close games, and they are one of the tougher teams in the league. And I believe and know that they're going to be putting it all on the line tonight against Arizona, who is trying to get back to their second championship in a row and making a return from last season after a loss to Baltimore, trying to get it done in season 20. So it's going to be a great one tonight.
Here's our headlines tonight. A rare trip to the capital for Arizona. First game in D.C. since Season 5. That was the Season 5 opener. I remember it well. I believe it was on Father's Day, and that was a big thing. And D.C. topped OKC 36-21 back then. Offense is finding itself still for D.C., Paul. 22.2 points per game. That's their lowest mark since their first season back in Season 16. Some big milestones tonight that you were able to compile for us, Paul. Eddie Gage, one interception away from 100. And Shabazz Synergy needs just 20 yards for 25K.
And we were talking about quarterback records earlier in the show, and Shabazz Synergy reaching another milestone, more than likely, pending, say, he doesn't get hurt, unfortunately, but 20 yards for 25,000. It's a lot of passing yards. And Eddie Gage, one interception for number 100th career interception. Will number 100 be number one return for a touchdown in Eddie Gage's career?
Ashley Jackson working overtime this week. She's got some pregame chatter. Mike Churchill stopped by to give his thoughts on the game tonight.
What is up, SFL Nation, and welcome back to PGI, where I am joined for a pre-game interview with Mr. Mike Churchill. He is the wide receiver for the DC Dragons. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Just had you on just for a nice little pregame interview. I wanted to pick your brain about a couple things. What do you think that DC will ultimately have to do to get the win over Arizona today?
Stop Ashley Jackson.
Okay.
I mean, I've been in the league a handful of years now, and I know, as much as I love you, there's two Ashley Jacksons. And a lot of times it literally depends on which actually shows up. It's just the case. I've seen games where it's like unstoppable, completely unstoppable. You're just there to watch it happen. And then I've seen games where, 4, 5, 6 interceptions, but it happens. But to me, uh, y'all's offense goes by you, by the way you play. And so for me, it's you have to stop Ashley Jackson.
Okay. So you're not worried about defense at all. You
Oh,
being a wide receiver.
Oh, am I worried about that? Well, I can't control that. I just can't control that. So, you're uh I'm a wide receiver. I feel like I'm always open. I'm open on every play, So no, I look for the opportunity. I really look for the opportunity. I want to make plays. It doesn't matter who, Baltimore, it doesn't, Arizona, it doesn't matter. I just want to come make plays for the team, help the team, uh, try to get a win. That's what we're here to do. Try to get a win.
Okay. So would you say that this was one of the games that you guys had circled on your calendars?
Uh, I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else.
Mhm.
I think we've kind of hit on this before that, this is one of the games I've circled on my calendar for sure. Uh, just from, a personal standpoint, being friends with Diggs, uh, and we talk. Of course, we talk. So yeah, I want to do well. Uh, I want to score 7 touchdowns. I want to do whatever I can. That's how it is. It's like, you obviously you want to do well. Uh, I hope Eddie does well, but I hope we do better. So,
Hey, okay, I can't argue with that, man. I can't argue with that. One more question. Any special works for your best friend over there, Diggy?
no, no, enough's been said. Let's just do it. No more talking. Let's just do it. And I guess one of us will have bragging rights for the rest of the year. Uh, and we'll do it again next time around. Hopefully we get another chance to play you guys.
All
We
right,
might see
then.
you guys in the playoffs. Well,
Hey,
that would be a championship game, I think, if it boiled down to that, because we're in 2 different conferences. So if we play again, it would have to be in the championship. So there you
hey,
go.
well, I'll be looking forward to seeing you then and looking forward to handing you that L tonight, all right? You have a.
All righty, fair enough, fair enough. Well, we're going to do everything we can to stop you. We're going
Hey,
to do everything we can to stop you from getting that L.
hey, same. I know you guys get paid just like my guys get paid, just like I get paid to do the same thing. So let's just give them a good show tonight, all right?
That's right. And let's all stay safe. No injuries.
Yep,
No injuries.
that part.
Yes. Yes.
So
For everybody.
tell your defense to kind of take it easy on me, okay?
Right. We'll do it. We want picks anyway. I mean,
Hey,
we'll take sacks. We'll take sacks, but we want picks.
well, you can have all the picks all day as long as we come out with the winning. Okay.
Right? What's it matter at the end of the day? Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the chat.
Indeed. Thank you, Mike, for your time. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you on the field.
You too. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cam, Folly, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And hey, Mike Churchill just shot up to the top of my list for people I want to see at the next convention. That was a great interview. Good dude. We got some super chats to get to. $4.99 super chat for Skippy. Fingers crossed that Eddie Gage gets his first pick 6 tonight. And oh yeah, I didn't forget about Jones. Did it move? Did it move? I don't know if it moved or not. HK38, I don't know the conversion, but I don't care. Brendan is a sinner says, got to get up there. Loving these PGIs. Also, hi, everyone. Hi, Brendan. Thanks for the super chat. Will Mike O'Neill give us a hair flip? I don't know. He's wheels up this week. He's got a preview of Arizona and D.C. His keys to tonight's big game.
What's going on, SFL Nation? Mike O'Neill here. Big shout out to Cam and Paul back in the booth. Before you say anything, I am driving, but Brooke is holding the camera. We got a huge matchup tonight with Arizona and DC. And Arizona trying desperately to get back to the championship because they've got a big chip on their shoulder. DC just not the same team that we saw last season. DC's pretty middle of the pack with everything in every category this season. This was going to be pretty plain and simple. This game tonight starts and ends in the trenches. The reason I say that, Ashley Jackson has only been sacked 4 times this season, which is a major accomplishment for Arizona. It's the fewest sacks allowed in the league, and DC is not very good this season at putting pressure. It's all going to start and end with the trenches. I say that because they've got to stop DJ Moses. They've got to get pressure on Ashley Jackson. She's got a positive touchdown to interception ratio, one of the few in the league that has a positive ratio in that category. So it starts and ends in the trenches. DC's got to do something. They're, like I said, they're middle of the pack everywhere. Shabazz Synergy's got 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions on the season. So they've got to figure out something. The bright star in DC's team this season has been Kevin Say. Kevin Say is averaging 6.5, I believe 6.5 yards per carry this season. He's only had 87 touches. So it's a huge step for DC as far as, where they can go moving forward. Tonight, they've got to get Kevin Say the ball a lot. They've got to control the ground game, and they can't be giving up to 27 points that they're averaging right now on defense. They've got to win the line of scrimmage, and they've got to give Arizona everything that they got if they want to walk out of this one with a victory. Otherwise, this is just going to be taking care of business for the Scorpions. We're going to send it back to Cam and Paul in the booth. Thank you guys. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we'll see you guys next week.
I should have done my hair flip after O'Neill, dude. I mean, the dude's totally showing me up. That's not cool. Any thoughts?
Hey, you need a hair flip? I'll show you a hair flip.
Do it. Let's go. Let's go.
You see that flying?
It's great.
It just went off the screen.
Man, hey, I think you hit something over there. Check on that. Wow. That is just terrible. We create C- television for you every week here on Impact Monday. And, no, I'm just kidding. It's so much better than that. Nathaniel Diggs, please have the last word before kickoff.
Welcome back to PGI. And I am joined with my GM / best linebacker ever, Mr. Nathaniel Diggs, coming in speaking for Arizona tonight. So, Diggs, how are you doing?
I'm good. You're going to get some DMs with that linebacker statement there. I'm sure BJ going to be hitting you up.
Yeah, I'm sure he will too.
I got a ways to go before I get that low.
Hey,
but I'm trying.
You're important to us, so we appreciate you for being here, man. But couple questions for our pregame interview this evening. I want to know, what do you think that Arizona has to do in order to get this win over the Dragons?
Altogether, I think we just have to limit the mistakes and force mistakes to DC. I think if we can, from what I've kind of seen, they haven't been throwing it too deep. So if we can really cover the middle, and Mike for them on the wide receiver side has really stepped up this season. So that's going to be fun to watch. And I've been looking forward to this game for a while. But like I said, if we can control the middle of the field, the linebackers have a strong game, and our defensive line continues to play at the high level they've played all season, and we get some pressure on Shabazz, then I think we're golden.
So you would say that this was one of the games that you had circled on the calendar?
This is the game I've had circled on my calendar. Coming from DC over there, I'm looking forward to getting on the field again with some of the guys, Say and O'Rourke and Mike, everybody. secret. He's one of my buddies in the league, so and he's the reason I'm in here. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we've had some back and forth before, and I just look forward to folding him in half. Just come on over. Hope you can keep your cleats on, Mike. I'm ready to go.
I was just going to ask you if you had any words for your best friend, Michael.
Yeah. No, like I said, I sent him a little picture. It was a wide receiver that we saw get folded in half earlier this season, and I said, coming for you, Mike. Yeah, so it's going to be a good game. I'm excited about it. Destro and the guys over there can really pull some stuff out of the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, you might think it's a say show, but they've proven it's more than that this season, and they started to last season. So you really got to cover all aspects. And like I said, Destro's good about that, throwing a curveball at you and pulling some stuff out of the closet. So we'll see what happens this week, but I think it'll be interesting. And it's either going to follow the rest of what we've seen this week with some blowouts in our favor, of course, or it's going to be a closer game, and we're going to have two of the greatest kickers in the league going at it, and one of them's going to decide the game. It's going to be our man Cliff Allen, right? Or Potty. It may come down to it. Two of the best guys to do it, and it'll be an exciting game.
Either way, been looking forward to this. We're just going to go out there and give them a great show because the league deserves it. So let's go out here and do it, Diggy. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. I'm always glad to be here. I'm glad you got Mike to come on here and do a little interview for you.
Indeed.
So I hope to have a great interview after a tremendously hard-fought victory. So I'm ready. I'm pumped. I feel like it's gonna happen right now.
And it's about to. Cam, Paulie, back to you.
Yeah, it is. Last 60 seconds, Paul, your biggest key to tonight's game is what?
I want to go back to like what Mike O'Neill said is you got to get Kevin Say the ball 6.5 yards a carry every time he rushes the ball. So DC has to get him the ball, and DC has to stop the big plays that Arizona creates. Ashley Jackson is not afraid to take the deep shot. We've seen it all season long of Ashley Jackson throwing dimes over defenders' heads. It's going to be a great game. Regardless of who wins, I can't wait to see it all happen live right now, Cam.
We in here. Kickoff of Impact Monday is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
With the Knights playing as well as they are, you will not want to miss seeing their next home game in person. Baltimore comes to town for the first time to Metro Stadium. It's the next New York Knight home game. Call 1-800-GO-KNIGHTS. Get your tickets now. Or you can listen live here. Oh, look at Parkeet Scholl! This is ridiculous! That is another touchdown! Parkeet Scholl! I'm speechless. I can't believe this guy. I mean, look at the burst of speed at the second level.
4 down linemen for Louisville in what appears to be a 4-2-5 set. Coleman back to pass. Coleman pump fake, and then a sack. Rick O'Reilly with the big play to force the Houston punter on the field for the first time tonight. And for O'Reilly, that's sack number 7 on the season. O'Reilly, a monster on the inside. Big play there for the Louisville defense.
First and 10 of the 26, Marconi dropping the throw. And Marconi against the late blitz will go deep down the field, and that one is caught! Past Grayson Abarazzo! Shigeki can't catch him! It's a Mauer touchdown! The 3rd touchdown for Abarazzo in the game, and it just looked like the Legend defense kind of got tangled up, and Grayson went for the pick, and he over-pursued.
That was just an outstanding throw by Rocco. I mean, he's 6'5", I believe. Yeah, he's 6'5", 225, long, rangy, strong, quick arm.
Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli going to the end zone. Pass is caught for a touchdown. Kendall Gilbert, and Baltimore's on the board. Give me some of that crab call. Baltimore cuts into their early deficit. Rastelli's got 6 touchdowns and no picks in the last 6 quarters of action. 2nd and 2 at the 40. Christensen will pass again. They are staying away from Kim. That ball, oh, it's belted up in the air, and Nick Nitro picked it off. That is tremendous defensive effort. Who dove in front of that pass? That was a Qantas Shine, who dove in front of the pass and knocked the ball up in the air. That was one of the best defensive plays I've seen in a long time out of a Qantas Shine. A.J. Levy, 6 seasons, all with Sioux Falls, the strong safety number 42. Chris Dodd, free safety in his 3rd season, wears number 49. Alex Parker and Nick Fargo, the linebackers, 91 and 92 respectively, as Rahman steps up in the pocket. Rahman gonna air it out deep, and Thomas Rahman's pass intercepted off the deflection by A.J. Levy. What a play by the veteran.
Well, you mentioned it, Cam. Levy and Dodd, probably the best safety combo here in the SFL. And Levy, a longtime veteran leader of this defense, comes away with his 6th interception.
So 4 receivers set here on 3rd down and goal. I guess this won't be a run. Christensen in the gun, looking towards the end zone, firing into the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. The Pride extend their lead.
What a throw by Christensen again. Has all day to throw and a post route. And that one, I mean, it's not bad coverage by Chappelle. It's just a perfect throw and a great route by...
3rd down and 2 from the 12. Go Knights rings throughout Metro Stadium. St. Clair to pass. St. Clair to the end zone. Intercepted. Oh no. Joe Lynn picked it off. You gotta be kidding me. And 1 first down will give the Crabs yet another 1-possession victory over New York. 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Overstreet, right side. Overstreet makes one man miss, and then another. And here goes Overstreet off to the races. Down the sideline, 20. He will be not tackled, and he scores again. 17th touchdown for David Overstreet. And Louisville has scored 19 straight points. And Overstreet is checking on the pulse of Oklahoma City.
Welcome to the nation's capital this evening for Impact Monday. It's the 5-1 Arizona Scorpions versus the 2-4 DC Dragons in Arizona's first trip here since Father's Day of Season 5. From the White House to the dungeon, welcome to Dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum here in Washington, D.C., where the Dragons have their backs against the wall tonight, looking for a big upset win over Arizona. Meanwhile, it's the Scorpions in a 3-headed race in a tightly contested West Division, just behind Vegas after losing to the Fury earlier this season. Good evening, along with Rochelle Colston and Jack Brown. I'm Paul Sarp, and how you doing tonight, Paul?
Oh, I'm doing great, Cam. Excited to be here in our nation's capital, where DC has never been beat at home by Arizona. So let's see tonight if Arizona can get their first win in DC. So I'm super excited to see both of these teams get to the action, and we're going to be headed here to the coin toss to see who's going to be getting the ball first.
Arizona in the white tops, red pants with the orange trim, black numbers tonight. Asher Jackson wins the coin toss, and Arizona will defer to the second half. That'll put DC on the field first. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate events and marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Cliff Allen gets us started. The ball is on the tee and the hand's in the air. Arizona, kick it. We're underway. Ronnie Shanahan on the return, out past the 20, gets it to the 23-yard line. Shabazz Synergy is the quarterback, 20 yards away from 25,000.
Only 20 yards away. We might see it here on this first drive where Shabazz Synergy is about to hit another career milestone, accumulating 25,000 passing yards. Let's see if we're going to see it happen on this drive.
4 wide, Synergy starts us off with a dump off over the middle. That pass hauled in for a 3-yard pickup, and it's taken over the middle of the field by Jesse Glover to start our ball game. A pickup of 3 yards. Synergy is your quarterback. Running back, Sir Kevin Say. You'll see Chuck Steller at times tonight as well. Jay Ballmer, the fullback. 3 wide receivers, Ronnie Shanahan, Mike Churchill, who we heard from in PGI pregame, and Josh Gill. Tight ends, Lauren Prococo and Craig Westlake. Keep an eye out. 2nd and 7 at the 26. Synergy drops to throw, fires it outside to Say. Say's got a first down. Past the 35 to the 36-yard line. Say, the 3-time All-Star, moves the chains for a first.
Incredible run there from Kevin Say. And last week, in their loss against Mexico City, had 6 carries, 37 yards, 4 receptions, 38 yards. So to only touch the ball 10 times, you got to get Kevin Say more involved in this game if you want to have any chance at beating Arizona tonight.
5 in the box. They rush just 3. Synergy going for the milestone, and that pass is knocked away and incomplete. Everett Garrison on the coverage. First incompletion of the night for Shabazz.
Incredible coverage there by this Arizona defense to just drop back into your zone, watch your zone, and don't let the receiver catch the ball. So great job by this Arizona defense on first and 10.
2nd down for Synergy. Split backs in the backfield. Takes a 3-step drop. Will throw it again. All passes early. Hits Ronnie Shanahan for a 5-yard gain. Sets up 3rd and 5. J.R. Lawless in the area. First 3rd down of the game. Synergy drops to throw, fires it out. That's Ronnie Shanahan. That is the first down to the Arizona 46-yard line, and that is 25,000 yards. Shabazz Synergy becomes the 13th quarterback in SFL history to eclipse the milestone, and next behind Joseph Redfeather, who has 28,264, no longer playing in the league. But congrats to Shabazz on the big milestone. As Synergy's pass is nearly intercepted.
Yeah, and a huge achievement in a young player's career to hit 25,000 passing yards in just your 7th season. You're playing efficient football for your whole career, and this season and tonight alone, we're going to see a somewhat accurate quarterback who has thrown the ball for a 71.5 completion percentage in his career.
So it brings up 2nd down and 10 for DC. Garrison's 2nd pass defended already tonight, and Kevin Say on his first carry is going backwards. Still a tough man to bring down. They're going to give him forward progress on a loss of 1. Nathaniel Diggs, who talked about folding people like chairs in pregame, wraps him up to force a 3rd and long.
And that could have been a lot worse than 3rd and 11. Getting that forward progress as Kevin Say was running backwards, but a great job to break a few tackles to make it only 3rd and 11 for DC.
Third and 11, 8:25 to go in the first. Synergy going to drop to throw. Synergy, time runs out. Sacked for a loss of 7 yards. That is Alex Constantine taking a bow. Little nod to the to the Dragons culture here, and it brings up 4th and 18. DC have to punt it away.
And that's going to be sack number 5.5 for Alex Constantine, who is behind his teammate Hunter Norwood, who is second in the league in sacks with 7.5. So Constantine moving up the sack leaderboards with that great play to help get the ball back for his team.
So Arizona's defense gets off the field unscathed. Ryan Owens returns it up to the 23-yard line. Ashley Jackson is your quarterback. We mentioned that she is the next active quarterback to potentially crack the top 5 in all-time passing yards. She has 32,403. She needs 5,439 yards to pass AJ Caswell. So it may not be happening this season, but next season you could see Ashley Jackson surging all the way into the top 5. She needs over 500 to pass E.T. King tonight. Jackson going long on the first play, and it's intercepted at the 44-yard line. Not a good start for Jackson as Daryl Bullock with the interception.
And a great job from Bullock to just have his eyes on the ball at all times. When it falls into your lap like that, you got to bring the interception down, in which he did. And just we mentioned it earlier on the pregame show, Cam, that Ashley Jackson and Arizona are not afraid to take that deep shot, and DC just had the answer for it. Credit to their game planning for the week.
Mike Churchill mentioned it on pregame as Synergy put everything he had into that pass to Mike Churchill down to the 7-yard line. Churchill said, we want the bad Ashley Jackson tonight, not the good one. And so far, it's Synergy and Churchill stealing the show.
And I'll tell you what, I love these pregame interviews. Mike Churchill, he wanted to come out and show the league who he is, and right off the bat here in the first quarter with a big play.
Synergy 5 for 7 for 79 yards to start the ball game. Churchill with 47 of those on that long bomb. Say just 1 carry for -1 yard so far. DC burning him in the pass game. Split backs in the backfield. Synergy throws to the end zone. Pass caught by Mike Churchill. Touchdown Dragons.
All righty, Mike Churchill, we see you, we see you. What a great play and a great drive from DC to, off of an interception from Ashley Jackson, to just go down the field in a few plays, put 6 points on the board. Now you're an extra point away from having a 7-point lead early in this first quarter.
Churchill starts hot, 2 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Potty out to kick the extra point. Potty's top 20 now all time in kicks. Can tie Amanda Moyer with a field goal tonight. He's got 80 for his career. The extra point is blocked. And so we will keep it at a 6-0 game. Potty's off to a rough start. He says, whatever, guys. They were offside anyway.
And hey, Potty moving up the chains. Well, not moving up the leaderboards here with that extra point, but a great kicker for DC. Incredible positive energy within the locker room, and definitely someone that any team in the SFL would love to have on their roster.
Moyer at 81, and then Anthony Cece with 93 is 17th, so Potty's got a way to go there. Ryans gets it up to the 21-yard line, and Arizona will try it again. Their defense got themselves a little bit of momentum with that blocked extra point, but Ashley Jackson got to be a little smarter with the football.
Yeah, Ashley Jackson and this Arizona offense only have 1 play so far this game, which resulted in that interception. And like you said, you just got to, maybe the nerves were a bit high coming into this game, and you just got to calm down and play the game you know how to play, Ashley Jackson.